What's going on, guys? NealGuides here. Welcome back to another video. Got another Q&A. So I thought I'd kind of go over some of the more questions that you guys asked. So anyway, yeah, I'll get to them. The first question that was probably most popularly asked is, how do you figure out the tactics and formations that suit your style? And you see, this is one that some formations like the 4-2-3-1, they're specifically being built to give people more wins. So let's say, for example, you're a goal 3 or a goal 1 player, and maybe using your own tactics and you wanted to, make the boost to elite for the first time. My 4-2-3-1 video maybe will probably give you 2 or 3 more wins, surprisingly. Those, it's kind of a specifically made formation, like the long ball is there deliberately, so, it makes players run forward. I have both the lamb and the ram on comeback and defense. So not only did I help on the defensive side to become more stable, but also that means that is when you're kind of advancing forward, they run from counter type positions and they deliberately slow down your play. So those 4-2-3-1 videos are worked. I mean, most of my videos are worked in such a way to give you more wins. So if you were to use that exact same tactics, with exact same formation with your tactics, I think mine would probably be better, to be honest. It obviously depends what tactics you have, but for the average person anyway. How do you figure out your own tactics and formation? It comes a time. The reason why I release a lot of formations is because I like people to experiment different options. The reason why I keep releasing different formations, I mean, if you look, I never really say one formation is better than the other ones. Every formation is good. 4-2-3-1 is probably the best out of them all, in all honesty, probably the most stable. But like the 5-3-2, 5-1-2-1-2, that will come out soon. All these are just different variations. Just try them yourself. See which one you enjoy the most. Some people enjoy 2 strikers. Some prefer cam for the build-up play. And then try different stuff out. Maybe that was a nice goal, by the way. Try different stuff out. Trying like a false 9 on your striker. It all becomes experimenting, right? The best thing I would say is just try to keep it as basic as possible. If you put like a false 9 on your striker, then you always have to play that way. But if you just have everyone unbalanced, maybe like, if for example you play like, I don't know, 4-4-2, everyone on comeback and defense and everyone on balanced attacking, you'll probably do pretty well anyway. So it just becomes an experimentation. Try out yourself and just try different formations out, see how it works for you. If something works for you, just add it to one of your collection. Maybe consider it as one of your formations to use within your top 5. You got ultra defensive, balance, etc, etc. One other question I got asked from my Q&A last week, but the message was a bit late after the video. Once a player is past your CDMs, how do you defend against dragback? And this is a question I also get asked a lot. It comes with patience. You need to understand, when to give the right amount of space and when to push. It comes with experience. The best way I can say is if your opponent, let's say for example, my opponent's got Ben Yedder on a ball right now. He's got a 5-star weak foot, so he can shoot from any angle. So if he does a drag back, the key thing is not to tackle. Just try to block the angle towards goal. That's the key. Whenever you defend against someone like Griezmann who's got a left foot, just try to block the angle towards goal. And if they've got a 5-star weak foot, you kind of have to just either commit or block the angle. I generally try to block the angle because if if they do a drag back and you make a tackle, there is a big chance you're going to concede. So that's what I would say. Give them space, but try to block the angle out towards goal. Moving on, I think we've got one other questions here. I think so for example, here's watch how I'm defending. 1 second. Yeah, I'm not going for the tackle. I'm just defending the angle towards goal. You see that? It's only when there's a clear chance of winning the ball. But anyway, how to make more money? Now, when it comes to finances, you can trade. Probably the best way of trading. It's probably the best means of making money. Apart from that, I just play foot champs. I mean, try to be. You can be, if you want, you can buy fitnesses on Thursday for 700 coins. You can sell it on Sunday for 1.4k. That's a very easy way of doubling your money. You can do that. There's so many methods, but I just think be conservative. Don't do SPC, which you're not going to do. If you watch me, I've only done apart from a towel, the Christmas towel on Sanchez, which are like 20, 30k each. I've done no SPCs. Apart from David Villa, but try to be conservative. Don't spend money on SPC, etc, etc. Are packs worth it? I think you're referring to FIFA points. I have nothing against FIFA points. I mean, I don't like the fact the game is pay to win. But if you want to spend £10,000 on FIFA points, then it's completely up to you. I'm not going to say don't do it. It's your money at the end of the day. And one thing I would say is if you want to get more wins, do not. What I always advocate is the best team is not the way to get the most wins. People have this impression you need the best team. And that's why I play with these cheap teams like 25k teams, 10k teams, just to prove to you don't really need a team. You don't have to play even extravagant football. You don't need to do any amazing skills. When I play FIFA, the only skill moves I realistically use are a fake shot. I don't even call a ball roll a skill move. A fake shot, and maybe occasionally, maybe once or twice a match, I use a drag back. But even then, I don't even use a drag back most of the time. So that's the only two skills I think is very important. I mean, as long as you've got the skill, and the most thing is you have the patience and the mentality, you can win with any team. I think that's what's important. You need to have the patience and mentality. So for example, like now, the patience to go back. You see, most players would have pushed the ball and gone forward. The keys need to be patient. It's all about decision making. Like for example, here being patient, trying to be like, see for example, like here, waiting for the perfect pass. That was actually a nice play. I should have sweat it there, but yeah, that will come with experience. Don't worry about that. What is the best way to score corners? Now, admittedly, I don't really score corners. It's kind of it's going to be a kind of a weird kind of thing, but in FIFA, I like to score good goals. It's just my play style. I'm not saying heading is bad, but for me, a header is a bad goal because it's RNG. Now, I'm not saying you have to do that. I'm just saying, for me personally, I just don't enjoy scoring a header. Believe it or not, one of those few players that I'd rather... That was a good goal, by the way. Believe it or not, I'm one of those few players where I'd rather not lose a game, but I'd rather kind of like lose a game and score good goals or play good football than win a game and play bad football. Yes, it's not really the best mentality to have to win games, but at the end of the day, it's about having fun. I'm more than happy getting what I get. Not playing the way I want to play. So sometimes I force it down the middle. I don't cross. Corners, you can go near post, bring your goalkeeper. If you're defending corners, bring your goalkeeper out. But if you want to score a corner, go near post. Just hit it just in front of the keeper, edge of the box, and maybe 7 yards in front of the goalkeeper, near post. I normally pass my corners. I find that's very effective, and just try to work it into the box. But yeah, corners are not as effective as they were last year. What's my favorite player? I think, as you can see, Neymar on the ball is my favorite player. Ben Yedder, after he's got his 86 in-form upgrade, is one to watch. I think he's a very good player. He's very good at dribbling. I like the players with good agility and balance. Nedved is another player that I extremely like. I'm actually considering upgrading Nedved from his 86 to his 89. I think there's not that much of a difference between them. I think if you're talking about price-wise, it's a 200k difference. So, in fact, this weekend league, I might go ahead and upgrade him. But he's a formidable player, Nedved. If you have 350k and you have money spare and you want someone that can play striker even, or I play Nedved in striker, but you can play Nedved in the wing position or in a wide cam. So I play him in a wide cam, for example, here. In a 4-4-2, I play him in striker. He's actually a very, very good option. So yeah, I would consider a player like Nedved on the cheap side, someone more expensive. I think Neymar's like 700k now, post a Team of the Year thing, but I'll wait for Team of the Year to come out and see if that changes. When are you going to release the all-out attack, tactics, blitz, etc., etc.? Okay, so these are going to be released incrementally. The reason why is I don't want to kind of spam all the videos out. Because I know some of you guys that release a video, some of you guys like, you know what, let me give this formation a try, and you like it if we play it for a week. I don't really want to kind of keep changing formations, I suppose. So I think once a week is kind of a good idea, and I'm trying to make these videos the explanation videos. So I think that's kind of a good feat as well. So how kind of helping people get better at the game and explain to them what I'm doing in the game, how I'm using the team. I think that's the most important thing. So yeah, when's the formations for all-out attack? I'm still defining. I'm still, I suppose you can say finishing, polishing would be the correct terminology. The all-out attack tactic, it doesn't really work as well as last year. I kind of switching between that and a 4-3-1-2 all-out attack and a 4-1-3-2. I still don't know yet, I'll be honest. But I don't think it's viable enough to be released now. For now, you can use last year's tactic. But it's not really that viable to release per se for now. Another question is 25k team stream. Yes, so what happened was the stream got taken down. I think it was because of a policy violation, maybe in terms of the music. A lot of people were trolling in that stream, trying to make me lose, unfortunately. I mean, I expected, at least my viewers to be a bit more mature. You're saying you guys, but I'm saying some of the people in the chat were just really immature. It's ridiculous the amount of hate you got, even though I help the community, but it is what it is. But the stream got deleted, that's why you can't see it. So that means I can't stream on YouTube anymore. So I'll be going back to Twitch, streaming on twitch.tv/NealGuides. Link will be in the description. You can watch me there. Another question is, for example, how do you close out a game? This is the final one I wanted to answer. Now, when it comes to closing out the game, in all honesty, it just depends on person to person. Now, when you're trying to be, the key thing is, for example, like I'm winning 2-1 in this game right now, and you see, if I was defensive, for example, like if my opponent had the ball like here, he would put me under pressure. So the key thing is you don't really want your opponent to have the ball. So sitting back and parking the bus is almost counterproductive. Now, what does that mean? I'm not saying now attack is the best form of defense within reason, but when you're winning 2-1, because this game unfortunately triggers a lot of people, what you can do, which is a very sneaky tactic, is you can basically you can attack or maintain possession in your opponent's half, just pass around his box. Basically, is what I like. It's like what I like to call pinning him in his box. Just pin him in the box. Press him as much as you can, in his box. If that makes sense, and eventually he'll make a mistake. If he doesn't make a mistake, just keep passing around. You're basically essentially wasting time. But for example, passing around the back like here is very, very risky. I wouldn't recommend it unless you have really, really good composure. I mean, even myself, I still make mistakes as well. So try to keep the ball in your opponent's half, pin him in his half. If he makes a mistake and comes out, you can capitalize an opportunity and bring your goal, bring your player in the box or try to score a goal to make it 3-1. But the key thing is do not play defensive. Change your defensive formation. Maybe if you're playing a 4-4-2, maybe change to a 4-2-3-1. Put all your players and come back on the fence, and maybe change your width. I mean your defensive width, or maybe even your depth. But definitely don't park the bus. I'm trying to say maintain your attack. Don't look just to pass the ball around. If you want to waste time in your opponents. So like for example, like here, see how he brought out Semedo? You see how he committed with Semedo? This guy's getting very impatient. This is a perfect example where I'm winning 2-1, but I'm being very smart. I know he's got 2 strikers, so you see, I don't want to give him too much of the ball, so I'm just being patient. So I'm waiting for him to run out with Semedo. See he's not running out, and I'm waiting to exploit the gap. See when there's nowhere to go, then I just hold the ball. See, like there I made a mistake. See, now I'm susceptible to the counter attack now. See, if I just held the ball and be safe there was a chance this guy could not score. As you can see, my player's out of position. So that's what I'm trying to say. You want to be smart. If you're in a good position to actually score, then shoot. If not, just retain possession. That's the most important thing. Retaining possession in your opponent's half. Another thing you can do is hug the sidelines. Hug the sidelines is very effective as well. That was probably good defending there. As you can see, for example, that was a good example of when I was saying defending. Let me just kind of skip through this. I think But anyway, as you can see, for example, so here, as you can see, I make a defensive substitution. So I put Bernardo on, he's got very good stamina. I take Vieira off. I got to drop between defenders and stay back while attacking on my CDMs. What I change here is I put all my cams from stay forward to come back on the fence, as you can see. So as you can see, I'm not changing the way I'm playing. I'm just playing a more defensive approach. You see what I'm saying? So everyone's on come back on the fence. Just changing the formation up a little bit, and that's it. But I'm not essentially playing defensive. So I think there is an example here. I think I chose the right clip. For example, like when you get a throw in, it is a bit cheap to do. But like holding the ball, for example, wait for the 6-second time and then release the ball. Something like that, provoke your opponent. 1-2s down the wing are really, really efficient. And obviously tactical fouls, you ever find yourself in trouble, just do a tactical foul. Just do not, under any circumstance, bring out your centre backs. And remember, when you have your players on come back on the fence, so like for example here, possession, smart, let my opponent press me, go down the wings. I think, for example, like here, you can go backwards, for example, like that. And then the truth is down to personal preference, but this is the way I think is the best to hold possession. But anyway, guys, I think that's the end of the video. Thank you very much for your questions. I really, really appreciate all your questions. Thank you very much for your DMs as well. Sorry, people ask, why didn't you answer your DMs? I try my best to, in all honesty. But after my wrist injury, I kind of left my DMs. I mean, normally at 10k subs, it was already unbearable. Like I was getting 100 DMs a day, and I still answered almost every single one of them. But now it just came to the point where I kind of got a backlog of 1k, and I just cannot physically catch up now. So sometimes when I see a DM that maybe I've not answered, maybe let's say, for example, you ask me a question, and I've not answered it before, I kind of go over it. Otherwise, most of the time, if you ask me a question that's in my video, I might just refer you to the video or something like that. So don't get offended if I reply to you, see video with this timer. It's not because I don't want to respond, just I don't physically have the time to write a full paragraph. But anyway, guys, I think that's the end of the game now. I think we won. Last couple of minutes of the game. Again, see, I don't push forward here. See, I'm running backwards. See, even though Kante was through on goal, I realized it was my CDM. So, for example, like here, as soon as I won the ball back here, I was clean through. I could have played the ball to Kante, but I realized he was my CDM. And not only is there a hole in my defense now, also if he wins the ball back, he can counter-attack easily. So you see how I just run back away from goal instead. As you can see, I keep the ball in my opponent's half. I don't waste time in my half. You know, he's making mistakes. Was that offside? I think that's offside. And I think now I go for the attack, because now even though when he attacks, the referee's going to blow the whistle. Like so. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Take it easy. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out, boys.